You take any edit box, it's going to have input tag. Any edit box, any application you go, this is the standard. See that input tag. First less than symbol is there, then one word. So this is the tag name. Tag name after your attribute will start. What are the attributes? See here. Attribute syntax I have already given. Attribute name equal to, within double quotes, attribute value will be there. So type equal to the text here. An autocomplete equal to of. ID equal to srch word. Name equal to srch word. Class equal to home search box. ARIA label. Search for. Placeholder. Search for a product category or a brand. So these are all attributes. What are all the attributes you can see? Mainly you focus on ID value. Name value. Class value. Type text. ARIA label. Placeholder. These are the attributes we're going to use widely. Mainly ID, name, class is important for us. You should be able to take the values. How can you take this attribute values? So put the cursor on the attribute value, just double click. So it will be selected, then right click, copy it. So any attribute value is like that only, you have to copy. Just put the cursor there, just double click and then copy it. So these values based we can recognize that element. So Selenium uses these attribute values to recognize the web page element. That's why we need this thing. First thing is edit boxes. Which element, which tag it is going to have? This input tag. How can you recognize the attributes? Tag name after the attributes will be there. What is the attribute syntax? Attribute name equal to, within double quotes, attribute value. Then next attribute will start. Then next attribute will start. So like that, so we can recognize all the attributes. Attributes will be same for different elements. Only value will change from element to element. Now see, next search button. This is the search torch icon, right? This also have a input tag. You can just spy on that. You can see that also has input tag. Type equal to submit. Value is blank. Class equal to new search button. ARIA label equal to search. So here type is the one attribute. Value is another attribute, but here value is empty for the type. So value attribute. Class. So class has some value. ARIA label has some value. So like this, your attribute values will be defined for every tag. Tag after attribute values will be placed with a tag name equal to, within double quotes, attribute value. So equal to left side attribute name equal to right side within double quotes, that is the attribute value. So we have seen edit box and set start, right? So next, let's take off this image. Images are going to have img tag. See that img tag is there. Img tag will be there, and img tag must contain source value and alt attribute values. See, img tag after alt, and alt value started here, ending here. Then src attribute, src value started here, ending here. So this is the how you can find out images. Next, links. Links are going to have a tag. Yesterday I already shown you, but a tag will be there. A tag must have a href attribute. href attribute. Then there is one more attribute, title attribute. This title attribute has a specific need in the any tag inside. So title attribute is there for particular tag. That means that element has a tooltip. Tooltip it has. So the tooltip is this is the one. Already a user sign in. So that's the tooltip. See where you can find already a user sign in the title attribute value. All these points are very important. So already user sign in. If title attribute is there, so you have for that element tooltip. How can you get the tooltip? If somebody asks you in the WebDriver, you need to tell based on the title attribute, you can get it. That's why all these concepts are very, very important in Selenium. If you are not able to recognize the web element and the attributes and tags are not there, so it's going to be a problem. Okay, so we have seen search edit box, start icon, and this link and image we have seen. Next, let's move on to the create account page. So any edit box you can see input, but input tag will be there. Now check availability button, we'll see check availability button. So what tag will be there? Input tag only there. See type, name, value, on click, class. These are the attributes for that check availability button. Next, checkbox. This checkbox. What tag is there? Input tag. Type equal to checkbox, name equal to so some value, and on click some value, and class is some other value is there. So different values for each element. Now next, radio buttons. So radio button also going to have input tag. Now I have shown you for edit boxes has input tag, checkboxes has input tag, radio button has input tag, buttons also has input tag. Sometimes buttons are going to have button tag. Sometimes buttons are going to have button tag. I'll just show you that. So as of now, we just to follow these things. Links are going to have a tag, that is fixed. So this is never going to change. In any web page, link means a tag will be there. And drop downs. So this drop down, country drop down, city drop down, day drop down, month drop down, year drop down. Every drop down is different. Every drop down is unique. Every drop down is referring different things. So this is the representing countries. This is representing cities. So what tag will be there for drop downs? See that. So what tag is there? Highlighted portion you can observe here. Highlighted portion.
Select
tag is there. Then attributes you have again on change, then style, name, ID attributes also there. But mainly we will take ID and name attribute values. Class attribute value, ID attribute value, name attribute value will focus. If these are not there, we'll go for other attributes. But what are all the options? Just expand this and you can see option tag. Can you see here option tag? Option tag, start tag, this one. Again, value attribute, label attribute, but value attribute is mandatory for every option. So every option is going to have option tag. Every option is going to have option tag. So this is the value. Option name, India, American Samoa, Andorra. These are all, see option tag, close tag, option open tag. This is the option open tag till here. And option close tag or end tag. This is the start tag till here, and this is the end tag. So these two in between you have a option text or option name. All that label. So drop down option label, this one. So select represent the entire drop down. select inside, you have options with option tag. Each option has one option tag. So each option has one option tag and value will change from option to option. Okay, that's a drop down. So drop down is represented by select tag. Drop down option is represented by option tag. So I'm going to use all these concepts. Please remember, how can you get this option text or label text? If I ask you, you have to see close option tag in between, open option tag and close option tag in between. You have option name. You have that you need to catch. So then static text. So where this static text will be there? So what tag will be there? TD tag is TD tag or a div tag or span tag. Anything will be used for static text. So that's all the elements I'm covering here. And let me show you one more. See, this is not a drop down. This is not a drop down. This is the list box. So list box, so which helps to show all the list of elements. Again, input tag is, but this one, once you expand all the list of elements, it will be shown to you. This is the list box. So this is the list of elements it will show you. You can see here div id. See ul tag for the list of elements. Then li tag, all li tags are there. All li tags are there. So ul means unordered list. So this is the unordered list. Once you need to click first, then list will show you. Directly list is not going to show you, not like a drop down. So for list you have a ul tag, that's a parent tag. So parent tag will represent each parent tag. Ul represent the entire list box. Then one li represent the each option in the list box. Another li, another li. So another li, next li. So like this you can find out all the list boxes. So this the list of elements will be there. Okay, so that's the one thing. List box is going to have ul tag and li. List of elements you can represent with the list box. So again, button, let's spy on this. Again, this also have an input tag for buttons, but I'm looking for a different button tag I need to show. Let me show you button tag. So we'll see in the Firefox LinkedIn I am opening. See that this is the text, right? What text it is? Static text, header text, link text. But this is not link, because when you put this, the cursor is not changing to hand icon. That means you cannot do a click action. So it's a either static or header text. But to confirm that, just right click on that, inspect element. On that element I'm right clicking, then you will get a panel. In the panel, select inspect element option, then HTML will open to you in the bottom side. The HTML, so in the HTML it will highlight. See that what tag is there?
Header text.
Header tag.
So this is the header tag, H1 to H6, any tag is there, there's a header text. See again you have attributes, class attribute is there, then only class attribute is there, no other. Okay, so that's attributes and tags. Then let me show you the button, sign in button. Button tag must be there for this. See that buttons might have tag and button tag both. Sometimes they will use input tag, sometimes they will use button tag. See button tag after you have a class attribute started here, ending here. That's an indication for you where double quote started, ended. Then next attribute data tracking control name home page. Then data tracking L items blank, type equal to submit. So this is the button tag will be there for buttons. So either button or input tag, any one will be there. So both are correct only. Okay. So next, see, we have a H3 tag also sometimes. See, H2 tag they placed. H2 tag means another header text. H1 is the highest priority will be given for a bigger text. H2 is a lower, little bit font size will be different. Second heading, that's a H2. So like this, you can find out all the elements. So let's see, what is this text? See, span tag they used. In the span tag inside, all they mentioned, but basically it is available again in the paragraph tag. Paragraph tag again, inside span tag is there. That's how you can write paragraphs or text. So let's see what text it is. See, H2 tag is there for this. So all this different, any element you can find out. So what tag is there for each elements. So that's how you can find out. So what is the tag name for each elements? See that? So these are all the logo is going to have a different thing, this one. But you can see icon tag is there. So div tag, so the entire division, this footer division is represented by div tag. So like that they will mention the elements. So this is all the elements we have seen, but in the table also we need to show, right? Table, there is a table tag will be there. So table tag, let's see the table tag. So table tag yesterday I have explained, but let me show you. So let me see. This is the headings. Sign in is a heading, H1 tag. So below text, let's see what is the text. So there's P, paragraph, P for paragraph. Paragraph tag is there. Then all this forget password is a link. It's a link. You can see A tag will be there. A tag. A tag must have which attribute? Href attribute. You can see without href attribute there is no link. Mandatory. This href attribute is not going to be applied for any other elements, only for links only. And src attribute also only for images. So sign in button, this is a button tag. So this is a button, that's why it has a button tag. And then attributes you have class, then class is started here, ending here. Next attribute started, then type, submit, array label, sign in. So these attribute values are very, very important. If you know the attribute syntax, attribute name equal to within double quotes attribute value. So that's very, very important for us. These are the different elements and what tag is there for each elements. So we have seen input and input box or edit box. Second one is button tag. We have seen our input tag for buttons. Checkboxes have an input tag. Radio buttons also have input tag, and list boxes are going to have UL tag, then LI tag inside. Then drop down is going to have select tag, but drop down option is going to have option tag. Links are going to have A tag and it has href attribute. Images are going to have img tag and they must have alt and src attributes. Mandatory, these two attributes for the image. Then we have static text. It can be span tag or div tag or paragraph, anyone they will use, and td tag also. Headers are going to be represented using header text. So headers are represented using header text. H1 to H6 tags will be there. So let me show you this sign in form. I'll show you sign in form. This is the login form and they represented this in the table, I think so. No, you can see here HTML starts with a doc type declaration, HTML tag, head tag, body tag. See, head tag inside you can find the title tag. You expand the head tag. Here you can find the title tag. Can you see this? This is the page title. So where you can find the page title? In the head tag inside with a title tag. See Facebook login or sign up. This is the title of the page. Any page title you can find with the title tag in the head tag inside. Then head tag will close here. All with the meta information. Then head tag will close here. Very big one, but a lot of things. See, head tag is ending here. Then body tags will start. Body tag, see, it highlighted entire page. The visible portion of the elements will be under body tag only. All the elements, whatever we discussed, all of them you can find with different tags in the body tag inside. So the element starts with the body tag inside only. Body tag inside, the elements will start. Okay, so that's all about elements, then their tags. Now let's move on to, so next one is the date picker. So let me show you date picker, what tag will be there for date pickers. You can see date pickers. Basically a table will be there for any date picker. You click on this. This is the date picker. This is the date picker, right? So this date picker is going to have inspect element. So table will be there. Table tag. Div. So just above this, I think there will be a table. And there is iframes are there. So iframe tag is there. Say frames are represented in HTML by frame tag and iframe tags. Important this point, just remember that. This is the table. Can you see here? Table tag. So if you expand the table and you have a table head, table body, then you have a TR every row. See, every row is represented by TR. Again, TR has a TD columns. See TD. This is the column. This is the one column. This is the another column. This is the another column. Like that, every TD represents one column. TD, TD. So TD, TD. So like this, it will represent. So row by every row is represented by TR. Every column is represented by TD, but entire table is represented by table tag. Okay, so these are the tables. All date pickers are going to have a table tag only. Okay, without table tag, so this they cannot prepare that date picker. So this is the kind of HTML structure we should understand, and then move on to Selenium. So what is Selenium? So that's all theory. Any doubt before going for Selenium? And we have selenium.dev is the official website for Selenium information if you want to get. This is the Selenium official website, selenium.dev. Any questions before going to the Selenium? And Webelements and their HTML tags and attributes? Any doubts? We already covered here. So edit box, button, checkbox, radio button, and list box or combo box is represented in HTML by input tag. Sometimes a button is represented in HTML by button tag or input tag. So drop down is represented in HTML by select tag. Drop down option is represented in HTML. Links are represented in HTML by a tag, and images are represented in HTML by img tag. Static text is represented by either span tag, div tag, or td tag, anything they will use. Header text is represented by h1 to h6 tags. So labels are represented in HTML by label tag. Divisions are represented by div tag. Forms are represented by form tag. Frames are represented in HTML by frame tag, and internal frames are represented in HTML by iframe tag. So table, I told you, table is represented by table tag. Page title is represented in HTML by title tag. So this is all HTML structure and attributes. What is meant by attribute? The characteristics of an element. It gives more information about the element. So the syntax of attribute is attribute name equal to attribute value. So basically these attributes are written inside the open tag only, not in the end tag. So after the tag name, you can find all the attributes. So ID, some of the attribute names I'm listing out here. Name, class, value, type, title, href, src, alt, tab index, on click. These are the generally used attribute names. So link URL will be available in href attribute. Image source is available in src attribute. Tooltip of an element is available in the title attribute. So these are the things we should be very familiar. Okay, and then let's move on to the Selenium. So what is Selenium? So when it came into market, let's see the history of the Selenium. Selenium first invented by ThoughtWorks company, and it came into the market in 2004. And then it becomes very popular. Why it becomes very popular is because it's a functional testing tool. So not for any other purpose you will use. You can do your functional UI test cases with the Selenium. You can perfectly write your functional test cases with the Selenium. And Selenium, why it is popular is because it's an open source tool. You don't need to pay money to use this tool, but other tools UFT you have to pay money if you're using. And another thing is Selenium supports only web applications. That's one drawback for Selenium. Windows applications it doesn't support. Windows based applications it doesn't support. You cannot automate with Selenium Windows based application, and it supports multiple browsers. You can write the Selenium test case and you can run same test case in different browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Opera, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, all the browsers you can run your Selenium test case because Selenium provides a multiple browser support. Then Selenium supports multiple programming language support. That means you can write your test cases using any programming language like Java, C#, Python, Ruby, JavaScript, any of these programming languages you can use to write your Selenium test cases. It's up to you. Your choice is up to you which programming language you need to use. So we already used that, and we have learned already Java, and we are using that Java in Selenium. And then we have another one is it supports multiple operating systems. You can run your test case on Windows. Same test case you can run on Linux and Mac operating systems also. That's why Selenium supports multiple browsers, multiple operating systems, multiple programming languages, and also Selenium supports multiple built-in frameworks. Language-wise, built-in frameworks are there. Those things you can use in the Selenium automatically. You don't need to do anything. The code is readily available in Selenium. That's the Selenium, and it is very fast nowadays. Even because Google also involved in Selenium implementation from 2009 onwards, and that's why both ThoughtWorks and this Google are working closely to make the Selenium very powerful tool. That's why it's popular in the market. So that's all about Selenium. And what are the components of Selenium are there? We have 3 different components are there. So now Selenium Web Driver, and then we have Selenium Ide, Selenium Grid. These are the 3 components are there. Initially, Selenium Web Driver was not there in 2004 when they released it to the market. Selenium Remote Control was there. Remote control is deprecated, but tool is available. So, but stopped further development because all the Selenium remote control code is available in the Selenium Web Driver only. That's why they are not working on 2 projects. So only Selenium Web Driver, everybody working and improving that features. So let's understand what is this Selenium IDE. So Selenium IDE is a Chrome and Firefox extension or plugin. So Selenium IDE is a plugin for Chrome and Firefox browsers, and you can open your application and open the Selenium IDE tool. You can see the interface. Selenium IDE tool you can see like this. So I installed already, so it will be no shown icon on the browser itself. This is the Selenium IDE tool. You can see the interface like this. You can see the interface, and this Selenium IDE is used to record and playback tool. Say all your user actions on the application, it will be recorded, and you can stop and you can run it back. That's what Selenium IDE means. So Selenium IDE is just record and playback tool. Who wants to start their automation career, and they can just explore about what is automation. You don't need to use any programming language here. Just open your application. So record a new test. So I will give my project name test project, and then it will ask you URL, which URL you want to open. So it will open, suppose I want to open https, so google.com. Then start recording. You say the browser will open separately with the Google website, and you can do whatever you want to do. So whatever you type here, it will recognize automatically, right? Then you can click on this Selenium Web Driver or whatever you want, you can do. You can do, see, images you can click, and videos you can click, news you can click. So these are all the links I am clicking, right? See, this recorded. The click actions are all recorded. Then you come to all and you will get it here, right? So these are the things I have done. I will stop the recording. See, recording a button. I can stop the recording by clicking on this. So then you give the name Google test. I can run it back. See that all the actions happened here. So open means open the URL. Set window size, type, you typed it, right? That's why it took type. Then send keys, you press the enter key, that's why key enter. So mouse over, mouse out, click, and all these different actions, whatever the actions you do, this the command will take the action, and on target tells you which element, the element address. This is the name, right? Name is the HTML attribute. So name equal to Q is the HTML attribute value for this Google search read box. So that address it is going to take automatically. So that's the beauty of this. See this link text. So link, this is the link. That's why it took a link text locator. On this image, you clicked it. The action you did a click action. So like that, it will record. Now let me run. How to run? You just click on this. Again, it will open. Google, it will open to you. Types the Selenium and press the enter key, and it will go to whatever you recorded. That will you can replay back it. So that's the advantage with this Selenium IDE tool. Okay, Selenium IDE tool. See, each step status you will get here. Can you see here each step status? In the log section, bottom side, there is a log section. So opened, done. Okay means it is successfully done. Then all the steps are done. Now this step is failed. Videos. This step is failed. Then Google so terminated one failure and runs one. So this way is a red color it is showing because it didn't find that. I mouse over on the videos, but it didn't find it. You need some wait time here. Okay, so that's why it failed and terminated program there itself. The remaining code is not executed. So this is all the how it will record and replay back it. So this is the command target value. Okay, so that's all we need to understand here. Other than that, we won't use this Selenium IDE tool in real time. So we'll use only for you don't know how to identify the element, you just record it and it will give you object identification automatically. See that it captured automatically. You don't need to go and check in this HTML code about that element address. You just record it and you'll get the thing. Then how can you install this? Just easy. It's very easy. So what you can do, just go to this downloads, open any Firefox and Chrome browser. Only these two browsers you can install this, and you can find here Selenium Ide tool. So download latest released version for Chrome, for Firefox. You can download. You can just click on this and it will go and ask you add to Chrome browser, add to Firefox. So this I already added, that's why I'm getting a remove. If you will get a here, add to Firefox, add. So Selenium Ide is an integrated development environment for Selenium test cases. It is implemented as a Firefox extension. It allows you to record, edit, and debug your test cases. First, this Selenium Ide is invented by Jason Huggins. He is also a tester. He was testing his build on the different browsers using JavaScript code. So in the JavaScript code, he built all the libraries and then they implemented this Selenium Ide tool. Okay, so that's a Selenium Ide. Then what about Selenium remote control? What is Selenium remote control? Selenium remote control is, so when you can go for Selenium remote control. So now we are calling Selenium Web Driver. Before it was a Selenium remote control. So as I mentioned initially, so this is the one, Selenium remote control. So it is a client and server architecture. Selenium remote control is a client and server architecture. And this Selenium remote control, first you write the code in any of the Java, Ruby, Perl, Python, JavaScript, any programming language, you write your test code. That each command will supply to remote control server. There is a server between browser and your code. So first command should go to server. Server will give that command to any browser. So browser inside will open application, right? Browser inside will open application. That application, this command will understand that browser, because browser has a JavaScript again. So both are developed using JavaScript, and then the action will happen on the application. Then the response will come back to you. This is the lengthy process. If server is not ready, your command won't reach the browser. That means your application is not going to run. On the application, your test case is not going to do. Actions are not going to happen if server is not ready, if server is not started. And Google is the vast user of this Selenium. They are irritated with this concept. Then they started WebDriver. So WebDriver is a direct interaction. In the browser itself, all the APIs they developed, and your code will directly interact with the application. There is no mediator. Here mediator means obviously it takes time, but there is no server concept here. That's what the Google achieved with the WebDriver. So direct interaction with the application. So that's why WebDriver becomes very popular and very fast. And this is very slow, because first it has to go to server. Server will give that command to your application. But here it is not like that. So in every browser will drive the application automatically, because every browser has ready-made APIs. That APIs will go and talk to the application and perform the action on the web element. That's what the WebDriver reached this concept. And then, but all these features are not there what Google developed. Then they spoke to ThoughtWorks company. Okay, we have a good project we develop without server concept, and we can improve this Selenium with this WebDriver concept. Can you merge all the Selenium remote control code except server concept So then they accepted for that. Both Selenium remote control plus WebDriver both joined, and they made a Selenium WebDriver. So in 2010, it came to the market, become very, very popular. But slowly they improved a lot of features, and now first the version started with 2.0. Selenium WebDriver started with 2.0. Selenium remote control is deprecated. Nobody working on that, because till 2004 to from 2004 to till 2010, many people are using, right? They have written their test cases. That's why they kept the tool, but further development they stopped it. And everybody, if you want to build your own framework, own test case, you can write with the Selenium WebDriver only. So Selenium WebDriver is a native language bindings included in the browser itself. It's a collection of language bindings included in the browser itself. That browser will drive the application. That's why called WebDriver. So your web application is driven by the language binding collection. So in the browser itself, it will drive, and it's very fast. That's called WebDriver, a Selenium WebDriver. Again, Selenium WebDriver supports all the features. It is again more features than this Selenium remote control. So all latest browsers it will support. Again, all these features, all programming language it supports, because this code, entire remote control code came here, right, without server concept. That's why it has all the Selenium remote control features in the WebDriver. So WebDriver supports multiple browsers, multiple programming languages, multiple operating systems, multiple built-in frameworks, and it's very fast. All latest browsers also it supports. Microsoft Edge, Opera, Safari, all the browsers it supports. And any programming language you can use to write your automation test cases. You don't need to worry about the which programming language your application developed. It doesn't depend on the application development language. You can take your own language and you can build your test cases. That's the beauty of this WebDriver concept. And last one, any questions here before going further? Last component, that is Selenium Grid. That's how WebDriver came into market. How it emerged is because of Google, because of drawbacks in the Selenium remote control. So what are the drawbacks? It is slow, first drawback. And it takes more time to send the command to your application, because mediator is there, that is Selenium remote control. And then it will come back your response. If server is not ready, your code is not going to execute. That's a drawback. These are the two drawbacks. Another drawback of entire Selenium is Windows application it doesn't support. And another thing is your application inside any Windows pops up, that is not going to be handled by Selenium. Like so if you click on upload, it will show a window to select the file. That is not handled by Selenium directly. But we have to use some other concepts. We'll do that. How to do that, I'll show you. And there are some drawbacks are there in the Selenium also, because barcodes it cannot read, and bitmap image comparison it cannot do, and Windows based application it cannot support. So these are some of the limitations are there in the Selenium. And what is Selenium Grid? So Selenium Grid takes the WebDriver to another level by running tests on many machines at the same time, cutting down the execution time, and you can run on multiple machine and browser combinations. Suppose you want to run on Windows and IE browser, that combination you configure to, there is a central server you configure. First you need to set up the Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid is nothing but hub and nodes will be there. Hub means one operating system, a admin server, and a node means a slave machine, a plain operating machine, right? So that nodes many you can configure to this Selenium Grid hub, and then you can set up like Windows, IE, Linux, Firefox, Mac, Safari, like that. You can configure multiple machines So each machine, one suite files you can run. Suite means a collection of test cases. So I have 20 test cases. Some other person has 50 test cases. Some other person has 100 test cases. All three persons test cases you can run in their machine combinations and parallelly. So it will reduce the time, right? You don't need to wait for my test cases to complete, and you don't need to be in queue. So other machine is available, you can run on that machine. Whichever the machine is available on that machine, your test cases will be start running. That's the advantage of this Selenium Grid. It's a distributed environment where you can run your test cases parallelly on different browsers, operating system combination you can run. That's the advantage here. So you don't need to write it separately. Only WebDriver test scripts itself you can use and run them. Anyhow, in the WebDriver we're writing automation test cases. Those things only we'll use here in the Selenium Grid. So why you need to do this? Because you have so many test cases. Every team has many test suites. How can you run them? You have to set up this Selenium Grid, and it will run and send the report to you when you reach the office early morning. That's the beauty of this Selenium Grid, and these are all the different components available in the market now. Any questions?
So Ramesh, when you said Selenium Grid takes the test cases from the test suite, you said, right? So irrespective of Selenium Web Driver and Selenium Ide, Selenium Grid is used. I mean, like it should.
No. Without Selenium Web Driver test scripts, you cannot use Selenium Grid.
Okay. And
you don't need Selenium Ide. Selenium Ide never comes into picture in the real time.
Okay.
Selenium Ide never comes into picture. You're never going to use in the real time. Real time you'll use only Selenium Web Driver. This is the only component we are going to use. But so this is not a user interface like Selenium Ide I opened, right? You won't get like that. This all you will get in the jar file format.
Maybe kind of a backend for test suites like that, maybe?
No, you just need to add all the jar files into your Java project. Then you can use all Selenium methods, APIs, whatever you want. All their classes and interfaces you can use. Like Java, you created a Java project. If Java is there, you can use all Java concepts, right? Same way. So Selenium WebDriver jars, if you add to your project, then you can use all the Selenium code in your project. So that's what we are going to do. We will configure our Java project with the Selenium WebDriver, and then we'll write all Selenium code.
Okay.
We are going to use only Selenium WebDriver. Then this Selenium Grid will be set up in the CI tool. There is a CI tool, Jenkins tool, where you will run all your regression test cases in the night time. Right? When you come into the morning to office, and your results will be ready for you. And you can analyze, and you can see which are the failures which are passed. So failures one, you will analyze and why it failed, and you have to debug. So that's what your responsibility. Every day run daily regressions, we call them. So every day who will run? The Selenium Grid will run them. Okay, so that will set up there. This is all done by DevOps team, don't worry. So your task is, if you are a senior person, you will do. If you are just a automation test engineer, you will do only with the Selenium WebDriver concept. You will write the test cases, that's it. And then you will merge the code in the repository. That I'll show you how to do this. The last sessions are very crucial, and that's where real-time concepts will come. Framework designing. Then we show how you will interact in the real world environment. That I'm going to show you. Project designing. So framework designing. Then you have written some test cases. How you will merge, where you will merge your code. Your code will be in your local machine or in somewhere. No, you cannot keep in local machines. That's not the thing, right? Many testers will be there. All cannot keep, and you cannot run, right? The integrated code you have to keep in one place. That is called repository. So we have many repositories. those repositories we're going to use GitHub, Bitbucket. All these are repositories, famous repositories. All the developers code also will be there only, and your tester code also will place there in the repository. And that you will integrate with the Jenkins tool. There is another tool, CI tool. It's a continuous integration of code and deployment. Your code is perfect and all test cases passed, then that code will be deployed to different environments. So the deployment is done in different places. So that's how it will happen. So otherwise, it's not easy to manage the code because many people are working. Not only one developer, one tester, right? So many developers are working. Each developer will work on one area. Small units also, but many developers will work on different parts. If their code is ready, they have to merge the code, they have to test, and developer will give the build and you have to test it. Once you tested it, then the final code will be deployed to production environments. That's how all your Gmail or Facebook or LinkedIn new features, how they are bringing without going down. This is the way it will go. So in the manual testing, I explained all in the test levels. So how the code will move from testing to production environment, very clearly shown there. That's the code will move internally. So many levels of testing will happen. Then one production environment standby will be there, one working environment will be there. So first all the code will move. If the code is perfect and healthy, the code will be deployed in the standby production environment. They will test it a little bit, sanity test, a very lightweight test they will perform where all are working or not. Then they will switch on this, and the one working, that they will stop, and this will be, you won't feel the server is going down. So you never feel, right? Facebook or Gmail or LinkedIn is going down. Any website, that's a zero downtime will be there. So that's how people will move the new features to different levels and to the production server. This all smoothly the deployment will happen. So nothing will be down. If it is down, customer cannot use the application, right? So downtime will be very less. No, not less. It won't be available nowadays because all we have a cloud. So in the cloud, this is not going to be happen. That's how deployment will happen. Any questions? Any questions?
Mesh, good.
Yeah. So and another thing is we need to install, open your Chrome or Firefox browsers. So the replica of Selenium Ide we need to install. The Selenium Ide is not that much familiar with the new features. It's not user friendly. The same replica we need to install to practice our object identification. So let's open your Chrome browser, and I suggest everyone open your Chrome browser. Type, there is one more replica of Selenium Ide is Catalan Recorder. So Catalan Recorder for Chrome, type it in the Google. So Catalan Recorder for Chrome. So you will see here the Catalan Recorder. So this one. Can you see here chrome.google.com Catalan Recorder Selenium. You look for the Selenium test generator, same as a Selenium Ide. This is a much user friendly and simplest extension for the Chrome and Firefox browsers. So you need to install this on the Chrome and Firefox browsers. So same you do there in the Firefox browser also. So Catalan Recorder for Firefox you do. Here we did Catalan Recorder for Chrome, right? Please install this. Without this, you cannot practice tomorrow's session. So please open your Chrome browser. Just click on Catalan Recorder for Chrome, and then look for this chrome.google.com Catalan Recorder for Selenium. So click on this link. Are you able to see this link in the results? So you can see Catalan Recorder and Catalan Selenium test generator. So these are all the options will be there. So Catalan Recorder is Selenium Ide compatible alternative. So just a Selenium Ide alternative, that's it. Same, similar, both are similar. So even it is Catalan Recorder, you can record on Edge browser also. This is one step ahead. than Selenium Ide. Selenium Ide is only for extension for Chrome and Firefox, but Catalan Recorder is extension for Chrome, Firefox, and Edge also. So you all find it? Did you all find it? Click on this. So next you can find add to Chrome. So here I have a remove from Chrome, right? Because so this icon, red icon, you can see R. K inside R will be there. This is a symbol, the Catalan Recorder symbol. You can find even in the browser also. You can see in my browser. Can you see here? Already I installed. That's why I'm seeing removes from Chrome. But if you are not installed, you can see here in this button place add to Chrome. You'll get add to Chrome. Click on add to Chrome. So then it will install and the icon will be here. You can see I'll click on this. My Catalan Recorder will be open too. Same as Selenium Ide. Catalan Recorder will open. So this is the new releases. It is showing. That's fine. Close. Here close is there. I can close. See, this is the Catalan Recorder. Again, you have recording option, play option. All these are same. Command, target value. Same we have seen in the Selenium Ide also. So why it is user friendly is see, I can identify my elements very easily. So that's why I took this. Okay, so this is the command target value. Even in the middle portion you have and the top portion you have. Okay, so that I'll tell you tomorrow. First install, and I'll give you a brief introduction tomorrow about this Catalan Recorder and how to recognize your web elements. Yeah, that's it. So if you install both the Chrome and Firefox, you install. Same you can do in the Firefox browser also. So you go to Firefox and just do these options. You can go and you can do that. So Catalan Recorder for Firefox. So Google, just Google, you can get it. See that first one only. Add-ons Mozilla.org Catalan Recorder. Just click on this and you will get a again add to Firefox. Add to Firefox option you will get like it, because I already added. That's why I'm not getting that option. Okay, so just install these two and we can see the next class how to use this tool. See this icon, red color icon you can find, right? That's a indication for you whether it is installed or not. So this red color icon in the R, KR, that's a Catalan Recorder. You'll get that icon on the browser. See that for me here.
Hello.